Hi, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I am in Los Angeles right now, and I am so excited because I am getting ready to go to an event that I have wanted to go to for 10 years, a decade. Me and my sister Titanya have both wanted to go to it for 10 years, and we're finally going this weekend. And it is called the Labyrinth of Jareth. And when I go to costume balls and costume events, I usually dress from the 1700s or the 1800s. Oh, yay, people are joining me. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Megan. Yay. Oh, Nancy Cobb. Yay. Okay, so I'll get back to this. So, I usually go dressed from the 1700s or the 1800s. That is my passion. I'm obsessed with the 1700s. Hi, Cindy. And the 1800s. Hi, Jane. And whenever I post photos on Facebook or video of me dressed from 200 years ago, I get a mass amount of emails and private messages and texts, for those of you who have my phone number, saying, oh my God, your costume is amazing, but what are you wearing under your dress? And the big question is, how do you pee? How do you go to the toilet? So I thought, hi Cindy, I thought instead of answering all those emails, because I get over 100 emails a day in our company, and answering all those private messages, I would show you what's under my dress. And that's my dress back there. I've been working on it for a year, and I'm super excited about it. And I will show you my underpinnings, and I will show you how women of the 1700s and 1800s poop and pee. Well, I won't go into that, but I will explain it a little bit so you understand how they did it, because that is a question, and we all do this, right? Okay, so for the historically accurate police who might be watching this, I am not historically accurate tonight. I am going to a fantasy ball called the Labyrinth of Jareth. And even though I am obsessed with the 1700s and 1800s and some events that I go to, I'm really historically accurate, and I don't use zippers, and I don't use any plastic, and I use all wooden buttons. Tonight, that's not the case. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to show you a little bit about my underpinnings, because you'll see the photos on Facebook later with my full dress. So I am in a corset and bloomers, and I have really cute shoes on, not period, not from the 1700s, but tonight I am recreating pre-revolution French courtesan. So think 1750, 1780, kind of Marie Antoinette, Versailles, Paris, France. So my underpinnings, oh, let me back up. If you were seeing a real woman from the 1700s, first of all, she wouldn't have press-on nails. I bought press-on nails last night. I love them. I've got them at Rite Aid. Okay, so she wouldn't have press-on nails, but she also wouldn't be wearing bloomers or knickers. She wouldn't have anything on underneath here. So this would be like straight shot of air from her lulie to the earth. There would be nothing. Women of the 1700s didn't wear knickers and bloomers. They just went without. Jump up to the 1800s, women wore crotchless bloomers. Tonight I have full bloomers on because I like to be covered down there in my lulie. But, you know, 1800s, they got to the 1800s and they did the crotchless thing. And you'll know why when I put those panniers on over there that are on the bed. You'll understand why no bloomers or crotchless bloomers. So the underpinnings, the first thing the women would do is they would put on a shift. And I don't have a shift tonight. A shift is kind of like a nightgown. It's long sleeved, it's long, it's white linen. They would put that on first before anything else because in the 1700s, a lot of the fabrics were wool and they were itchy. So the women didn't want to get all scratchy and itchy from their clothing. So they put on a shift. It also helped keep them warm in the winter, and it also kept their bodily oils from staining their clothes. So they'd have a shift, I don't, and then they would put the corset over the shift. So this is a modern day corset, but looks kind of similar to the 1700s. In the 1700s, it would be more straight across. Mine has a little dip here. And believe it or not, first time in 48 years, yes, I am turning 49 this year, I laced my own corset for the first time, and I'm so proud of myself. I'll turn around so you can see. I laced my corset for the first time all on my own. You should have seen it. I didn't want to live stream it because it was quite a scene. I had to do like deep breathing and mindful meditation before I laced it, and during the lacing, because I was getting so frustrated, I was like blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I did it, and here I am in my corset. So then they'd put a corset over the shift, and then they'd put a petticoat. Remember, no bloomers. They would be just naked down there, or later in the 1800s, crotchless bloomers. They'd have a petticoat. They would have woolen socks. Women of the 1700s wore woolen socks, and they'd go up to their knee or their thigh, and then they'd tie the sock with a rope or a string or a beautiful ribbon if they had more money. So keep in mind that the clothing from the working class to the royal court was very, very different. And I'm going more royal court tonight. So I'm going to show you my next piece. Now there's a lot of pieces that I'm not wearing tonight. I'm not wearing a stomacher. I'm not wearing a kerchief because I want to be a little bit more sexy for the labyrinth. But here, I'm going to put on these panniers, and hopefully I won't get all stuck in them. But this is my next piece, and this is the piece that you all ask about. You all say, what is that that's holding up your dress, and how do you go to the toilet? So I'm going to show you. I'm not actually going to sit on a toilet for you, but I'll explain it. And this was made for me by somebody in Europe. They did a fantastic job. These are my panniers, or panniers, as some people call them. These were very, very popular in Versailles in France. And if you go to Versailles today, and I have to get it really, really tight, it's difficult. I don't have a dresser tonight. If you go to Versailles in France, or you go some places in Paris also, they'll have very, very wide doors. And you will still see this in the buildings from the 1700s. They'll have very wide doors. Well, this was the reason, because of these panniers. And it's really cool. It's all wired underneath, and it has the ribbon, so they stick out. And the whole idea was flat in the front, flat in the back, and wide hips. Wide, wide hips. So these are the panniers. My dress will go over this, but this is the place, this is the point in this little video that I can tell you about how they went to the toilet. So do you want to know? I'm gonna tell you. Oh, I see. Oh, yay! Paulina and Joyce joined me. So I'm gonna show you how they went to the toilet. They used bed chambers or little pots. And so I'll show you how it works. I'm going to bring a chair over. They would have a chair, and I'm going to use the ice bucket, because I'm in a hotel tonight, as my chamber pot. And remember, they had no bloomers or knickers, or they had crotchless knickers. So you'd get your chamber pot, my ice bucket, and you'd put a leg up on the chair, and then you'd lift your pannier or pannier, and you wouldn't have anything underneath but a petticoat, and you'd lift that as well, and then you'd just go tinkle, 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 tinkle. And then you'd straighten out, and you'd give your chamber pot to the servant. That's basically how it worked. If you needed to do the other stuff, you could put your chamber pot down and you could just sit on it. So that's how the other stuff would work. And that's how it works. It's pretty easy when you think about it. Okay, so a couple things. In the 1700s, the corsets were very low, much lower than this. They would actually show areola or nipple. And part of the fun of the evening was a nipple making a surprise, you know, a surprise arrival. But I'm not doing that tonight. And that was part of the fun of the French pre-revolution court in Versailles. A lot of fun, a lot of joking, very heavy makeup. I'm not going as white as I could, but they'd use a lot of white powder. And so when the nipples made their surprise appearance, there was a whole act around it, and the women would go, oh my goodness, oh. And they'd act like it was a total surprise. So it would be very shocking. Oh, by the way, underneath the panniers or the panniers, they would have what are called pocket bags. And those would go in here. And that's why I have these big holes here. The woman who made this was just fantastic. This is fairly historically accurate. And under here they'd have pockets, and that would be their purse. So they'd actually have a hole in their dress and be able to reach into their pockets. And oftentimes they'd lose their pockets on the street, and there's all sorts of little songs. You can hear sometimes old historic songs about you know, Lucy Locket losing her pocket. Well, that's why the pockets were in here, and they'd reach in and get their money or whatever they needed to get, or their handkerchief or their fan. So one more thing, I'm going to come up close. You can see this beauty mark on my face. That's made with makeup. But during the 1700s, this is going to shock you, I think. Maybe not. It shocked me. Women and men would paint on, not paint, they'd put on beauty marks with mouse skin or mouse fur, and the whole reason was to cover their smallpox scars or any scars they had on their face. Smallpox was rampant, and so they'd have the mice. Of course, the mice would be dead. They'd take a little piece of mouse fur or mouse skin and put it on. Tonight I just have a beauty mark for show. And okay, so I have to tell you about my head, because I'm going to put that dress on back there, and then my head is going to be glorious, not this little tight bun. So yesterday, I arrived in Los Angeles, and I had this big 2.5-foot box, and I went on Facebook and I asked you, what's in the box? What's in the box? Does anyone know what's in the box? And many of you gave great, oh, sorry, I'm spinning. Many of you gave great guesses, and you said, oh, it's your book. Oh, it's the 5 Elements. My cousin Sean said, hey, Tiernan is in the box, which was very funny and made me laugh. I'm going to show you what was in the box. So this, my lovely audience, is going to go in my head. This is what was in the box. This is my wig with feathers. I've dressed her up, and she was made by a wonderful man who makes wigs for performers, mostly transsexual and transgender people who perform, and I love my wig. So I'm not, well, maybe I could put the wig on. Let's see if I can do it. I'm not sure. I wasn't going to, but let's see if I could do it. And you'll see a little bit about how I will look. I'm not going to get it perfect, and I'm not going to pin it, but basically, let me take my glasses off. It's going to look something like that. It's a little crooked, but oh well, I'll fix it when I turn this video off. And so that's the wig, that's my dress back there. I'm not going to put my dress on for you because, oh my goodness, putting this dress on, I would get all tangled and all mushed up, and I get stuck inside of it, and then I get claustrophobic, and you don't want to see me all frustrated and angry because I just go to pieces. So I'll do that on my own, but if you want to check into my Facebook page later, I'll be posting pictures of tonight. These are my underpinnings for the Labyrinth of Jareth ball, and you've all asked over the years, what's under your dress? So now you know what's under my dress. And thank you for watching. I see Catherine, I see Kezia. Oh, Catherine Limke Waist. Hi, Kathy. So anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to be posting pictures of the ball tonight. I'm so excited. And Kathy, guess what? Wendy Jacobs is coming with me tonight. I'm just thrilled to be here, and I hope you learned a little bit about the 1700s and the 1800s and how women dressed and how women went to the bathroom in the 1700s and 1800s. Did you ever guess that they didn't wear knickers or bloomers? Holy cow, I didn't. Or crotchless. Crotchless, who knew? Okay, everybody, I don't have crotchless tonight. I have full bloomers. All right, see you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for watching. Hi, Daisy.